Judges 8. The Ephraimites said to him, "Why have you done such a thing to us? You did not summon us when you went to fight the Midianites." They argued vehemently with him. He said to them, "Now what have I accomplished compared to you? Even Ephraim's leftover grapes are better quality than a Beezer's harvest. It was to you that God handed over the Midianite generals, Oreb and Zeb. What did I accomplish to rival that?" When he said this, they calmed down. Now Gideon and his 300 men had crossed over the Jordan River, and even though they were exhausted, they were still chasing the Midianites. He said to the men at Sukkoth, "Give some loaves of bread to the men who are following me, because they are exhausted. I am chasing Zeba and Zalmunna, the kings of Midian." The officials of Sukkoth said, "You have not yet overpowered Zeba and Zalmunna, so why should we give bread to your army?" Gideon said, "Since you will not help after the Lord hands Zeba and Zalmunna over to me, I will thresh your skin with desert thorns and briars." He went up from there to Penuel and made the same request. The men of Penuel responded the same way the men of Sukkoth had. He also threatened the men of Penuel, warning, "When I return victoriously, I will tear down this tower." Now Zeba and Zalmunna were in Karkor with their armies. There were about 15,000 survivors from the army of the eastern peoples. 120,000 sword-wielding soldiers had been killed. Gideon went up the road of the nomads east of Nobah and Jogbehah, and ambushed the surprised army. When Zeba and Zalmunna ran away, Gideon chased them and captured the two Midianite kings, Zeba and Zalmunna. He had surprised their entire army. Gideon, son of Joash, returned from the battle by the pass of Heres. He captured a young man from Sukkoth and interrogated him. The young man wrote down for him the names of Sukkoth's officials and city leaders, 77 men in all. He approached the men of Sukkoth and said, "Look what I have, Zeba and Zalmunna. You insulted me, saying, 'You have not yet overpowered Zeba and Zalmunna, so why should we give bread to your exhausted men?'" He seized the leaders of the city along with some desert thorns and briars, and then threshed the men of Sukkoth with them. He also tore down the tower of Penuel and executed the city's men. He said to Zeba and Zalmunna, Describe for me the men you killed at Tabor." They said, "They were like you. Each one looks like a king's son." He said, "They were my brothers, the sons of my mother. I swear as surely as the Lord is alive, if you had let them live, I would not kill you." He ordered Jether, his firstborn son, "Come on, kill them." But Jether was too afraid to draw his sword because he was still young. Zeba and Zalmunna said to Gideon, "Come on, you strike us, for a man is judged by his strength." So Gideon killed Zeba and Zalmunna, and he took the crescent-shaped ornaments that were on their necks, of the necks of their camels. The men of Israel said to Gideon, "Rule over us, you, your sons, and your grandsons, for you have delivered us from Midian's power." Gideon said to them, "I will not rule over you, nor will my sons rule over you. The Lord will rule over you. Gideon continued, I would like to make one request. Each of you give me an earring from the plunder you have taken. The Midianites had gold earrings because they were Ishmaelites. They said, we are happy to give you earrings. So they spread out a garment, and each one threw an earring from his plunder into it. The total weight of the gold earrings he requested came to 1,700 gold shekels. This was in addition to the crescent-shaped ornaments, jewelry, purple clothing worn by the Midianite kings, and the necklaces on the camels. Gideon used all this to make an ephod, which he put in his hometown of Ophrah. All the Israelites prostituted themselves to it by worshiping it there. It became a snare to Gideon and his family. The Israelites humiliated Midian. The Midianite fighting spirit was broken. The land had rest for 40 years during Gideon's lifetime. Then Jerubbaal, son of Joash, went home and settled down. Gideon fathered 70 sons through his many wives, his concubines. He lived in Shechem. Also gave him a son whom he named Abimelech. Gideon, son of Joash, died at a very old age and was buried in the tomb of his father Joash, located in Ophrah of the Beezerites. After Gideon died, the Israelites prostituted themselves to the Baals. They made Baal-Berath their god. The Israelites did not remain true to the Lord their God, who had delivered them from all the enemies who lived around them. They did not treat the family of Jerubbaal, that is Gideon, fairly in return for all the good he had done for Israel. Okay. Southside TV Love, you need prayer to keep perseverance through this evil that has been upon your house. Okay. Art Pebble, you had a huge mosquitoes recently. There are some benefits to the cold and snow you have. Well, that's true. That's true. God, we're just lifting up Southside TV Love for perseverance through the evil that is been upon their house. Just surround them and protect them. Give them endurance through all that is going on. May you give them strength and courage and whatever they are in need of, because I don't know entirely what they're facing, but you do. And so you know what their needs are. So just give that and pour that out and make your presence known. Let's pray this in Jesus' name. Amen. All right. So we had in our last chapter that Gideon had routed the camp, and then people were fleeing, and he had some other people he called on to go and attack them, but the Ephraimites were left out of that, and now they're all upset that they were part of the killing at some level, but they didn't get to do the glorious thing that they thought they should have got to do. And he reminds them, you're the ones that killed the two kings. Remember the kings, Oreb and Zeb, are Raven and Wolf. So you killed these two, like super duper bad dudes. You got to kill them. Like, what did my 300 get to do? We got to do nothing. So that calms them down. And then he goes on with his 300 men. Like, why doesn't he invite them to come along now? And so he can send them off after the other men instead of making his men more exhausted. But regardless, that calms them down. Isn't that just like some people? They won't participate if you ask them, and then afterwards they complain they weren't invited to do it. That seems normal to me. So rings true. So he's chasing them down. He is trying to. He's chasing down more Midianites, and he comes to the city of Sukkoth, and he asks them for bread, and they're like, "No, you haven't defeated the kings. What if the kings come back and they come against us? Like you're You're a pipsqueak. We don't know who you are. You're got a tiny army. Like, why would we go along with you? Why would we help you? If it turns out that we help you, they're going to come back and punish us. So there is, some logic behind what they're saying. However, the fact the other army is fleeing, I might be inclined to help this guy. I'm just saying. Hey, Lucis, welcome in. So they're chasing Zeba and Zalmunna. Let's go see what those names are. So Judges 8:5. Judges 8:5. Let's see what those names are. Zeba and Zalmunna.
Strong's H 2078. Zevach.
Okay, so Zeba is deprived of protection. So he's chasing deprived of protection, and they are. That's weird. Automod stopped the number 2316 from being posted. Why would 2316 be a bad number? I do not know why 2316 would be stopped. What's the significance there? Okay, so deprived of protection is the first guy. Oh, they both mean deprived of protection. That's hilarious. Both guys' name mean the same thing.
759. Zalmunna.
Okay, so he's chasing deprived of protection. When he comes back, they will be deprived of protection because they're dead. So they will be deprived of protection. They could have had protection if they would have helped. Instead, they don't. Okay. So he chases after them, or he goes to the next town. They won't do it either. He makes a different threat there. The one, he's going to scourge them with thorns. The other, he's going to tear down their tower. He chases after the 15,000 men. They had 120,000 to start with, but 120,000 are dead. So I guess that would have been added to the 135,000. Now, there's the 300, but there were also some of the other troops that came after them. And remember, they fought against each other, not just Gideon slaying them all. They capture him. I can't dismiss the ads coming in or delay them. And so he comes back because he won, and he brings the kings with, and he asks the kings about who they killed, finds out they killed his brothers, so he's like, well, then I'm going to kill you. So he asks his son to kill, like, a young son who's never killed before. Like, this would be the easy way to introduce him to it. He's like, nah, I'm not killing the kings. So they taunt him, and he ends up killing them. He goes to the towns, and he does exactly what he said he was going to do. He tears down the tower, and he thrashes the men with thorns. So we'll pick up after that when we get back. Wow, you had no idea? That's a white supremacist thing, that number? Okay, thank you for looking it up. I was going to have to go look it up. I've never heard of that. All right, we got... So he has killed the kings. He's chased them all down. He has freed... the people from the Midianites. He's got the last of them. He kills the last of them. His son won't do it. And then he takes a few things for himself. He takes the crescent ornaments around the camel's neck. So like camels have, something around their neck. He takes that. And then the men of Israel want him to rule over them. So you rule over us and your sons and your grandsons. So they want to establish him as a military ruler who will rule over them because he's delivered them from the power of the Midianites. And he's like, I won't do it. You need to have God alone be the one who rules over you. So he does not choose to take the power that is offered to him. However, he does this weird thing of give me a piece of jewelry from everyone. And by the way, if you've ever heard that men should not wear earrings. It's all throughout the Old Testament. It's all throughout the Old Testament. It was at the Mount Sinai when they were going to make the golden calf. They gave gold earrings and nose rings. And here, again, we have men who have just won in battle. They are giving gold earrings. This isn't just plunder they were taking to give to their girlfriends or their wives. No, they were taking gold earrings off of the men who were there in battle or their own. So the whole thing of men don't wear earrings, it's a social construct. It's not a biblical construct. That's all I wanted to say. Okay. So he's gathering those together, and he makes an ephod. Now, Moses made an ephod that was supposed to be worn by the priests, and also heard nose rings are pagan. Oh, well, yes, I've heard that too. But I'm more interested in what does it look like. Like, my bias, I know, but a nose ring on the side looks fine to me. A nose ring, and depending on the size of it, under the nose, looks like you got a booger hanging there. I'm just saying. I mean, make sure it doesn't look like there's a boogie hanging there, because that's not really attractive. But I know my bias. I'm old, so yes, they're taking jewelry, and he makes an ephod. So an item for worship is what he makes. He makes a golden ephod, and he displays it. And now we're jumping ahead to what happens down the road, is that it is going to become a thing that they're going to worship. So they are going to worship the ephod that he builds, which is not what they're supposed to be doing. He's freeing them from the Midianites. The Midianites were attacking them because God's protection was not on them because they were worshiping Baal. Now they're worshiping another object. And then it says after his death, they go right back to worshiping Baal. So we had 7 years of oppression, 40 years of freedom under Gideon for his lifetime. Don't we just read the Isaac's servant put a ring in Rebekah's nose? We haven't got that far. Wait a minute. Yes, we did. We did read that. I'm thinking of Rachel, not Rebekah. Yes, Isaac, but it's not Isaac's servant. That what threw me off. It is Abraham's servant put the ring in Rebekah's nose. Yes. Southside. I was taught that men were on the left ear and women on both. Oh, that's interesting. That's interesting because when I was growing up, men shouldn't have it at all. Men don't have earrings. And then men would often just do one. But that's culture. It's culture, really. Kenny, they put ring in the nose of pigs to keep them from roots up the ground and tearing stuff. I did not know that's why they put rings in the nose. Kenny, thank you for sharing that. I've always wondered. Yeah, Pastor. Yeah, it's Abraham. Yeah. Oh, I know. I know you knew what. That's what it threw me off a second. But yeah, for the record, nose rings don't bother you. Oh, yeah. But I didn't know that was why they put rings in pigs. That's a cool thing, I think. Okay. Let's finish this up. So now Gideon is going back to retirement after brief leadership stint. He has 70 sons through many wives. His concubine also lived in Shechem. So he's got many wives. He has 70 sons. And then he has a son with a concubine. So this son is going to be not as supreme status as what. So the difference between a concubine and a wife is status on some level. So it's going to be not the same status. So then the kid is not going to be the same status. Think about this with kingship. If it's the queen's child, then that is a royal heir. And if it's through some other mistress, it's not a legitimate heir to the throne. So that's the same kind of thing here, too. Eyebrow rings are okay, but eyeball, not so much. Eyeball, that just sounds awful. So 70 sons, like, what are you thinking, buddy? Like, what are you thinking? 70. Wow. Okay. So then he dies and he's buried with his father. which is what everyone wants to. You want to be buried with your ancestors. You want to be buried with your father in life and in the afterlife. Then it's going. So it gave us the it's going to happen, and now they're giving it did happen. So Baal Bereth. I want to see if it has a footnote on. They made a Baal Bereth. Baal Bereth was a local manifestation of the Canaanite storm god. The name means, ironically, Baal of the Covenant. Oh my goodness. Baal of the Covenant. So Gideon is telling them they need to serve God and God only. You don't need a king, you need God. And then when he's dead, they create Baal of the Covenant. Oh my goodness. They delivered from all their enemies who lived around them. They did not treat the family of Jerubbaal, that is Gideon, fairly in return for all the good he had done. So the people aren't treating him fairly. Well, he has 70 kids too. So I don't know how that's going to work out. He created a golden ephod. That begins to be a problem. I think there's another guy that did an ephod thing. That becomes a problem. So whenever people are creating ephods that are not for the temple, they don't turn out. So maybe we shouldn't create items that are designed to be in the place of worship and take them somewhere else. Just saying. Just saying.